Hello and you're very welcome to the programme. Well, these really are heady days for Irish golf. Last weekend in Seville, Peter Lawrie defeated Ignacio Garrido in a playoff to win the Spanish Open and claim his maiden tour title. It completed an historic hat-trick of Irish wins in successive weeks on the European Tour, and 4 now in the space of just a couple of months. It was an overdue breakthrough for the 34-year-old father of 2 from Dublin, who 5 years ago won the prestigious Henry Cotton Trophy as Rookie of the Year. That Laurie's win came at the Spanish Open, well, it shouldn't surprise too many people. He lost a playoff in the event in 2003 and also finished 5th there 2 years later. Mark Jones of the Sunday Tribune is with me in studio this week to try and put this latest Irish triumph into some kind of perspective. But first, let's hear from the man himself. Earlier I caught up with Peter at Castleknock Golf Club in Dublin to find out if it's all sinking in.
To be honest with you, it really hasn't sunk in just yet. Getting home quite late Sunday night and trying to spend a bit of time with family and friends. All I've been doing really is, opening a few text messages and emails and stuff like that, so it hasn't really sunk in just yet.
Let's go back to Sunday, and you hold the putt to set the clubhouse target. You're in the scorer's tent. You probably think you've got it won. Garrido comes up and sinks a monster putt to send it to a playoff. How were you feeling then?
To be honest with you, I did think I had it won until Garrido actually got it on the green, and then I tried to change my mindset to say, okay, he's going to hold it and I'm going to be in a playoff. But it's very difficult not to think that you're going to win it when somebody has a 25-footer and you're already in the clubhouse. It was quite difficult to change my mindset, but lucky enough I got it changed pretty quick and got out to the playoff.
On a broader level, what will this do to your career in terms of goals and aspirations and stuff? Because people have known for an awful long time of your capabilities and potential, going back to Rookie of the Year 03 and stuff. But that was a while ago. 5 years on. I mean, what will this mean to you?
It has to give me a bit of self-confidence, and possibly that's what I've been lacking over the last couple of years. I think I said to myself when I won that Rookie of the Year, I got lucky really to win it because there was very few people that could have won it that year that were eligible. But now that I've won the Spanish Open, now hopefully in the next couple of years, even this year will give me a good bit of confidence to go on from this.
What is it about Spain? Because you've so much history there in the past, going back to 03 and Kenneth Ferry beating you in the playoff, and then a couple of years after you were top 5 again.
Possibly the way the golf courses are set up. Last week's golf course was set up magnificently. You missed the fairway. It was very difficult to get the ball on the green, but the greens were superb, and that really helped me. But mainly, I like it in Spain. The weather's always nice, and I cope pretty well there.
Talk to me about this run of Irish winners on the European Tour, 3 in a row and 4 in the space of 8 weeks, I think it is. And your old pal Damien McGrain a couple of weeks ago. I mean, you've said already in the press that was a big fill-up for you and a real boost.
Very much so. With all the Irish winners, you're trying your best to, get there yourself. But with my roommate Damien doing it, it was that little bit of extra boost that I possibly needed. He gave me the confidence that he got from his win to go on and get my own one.
And when he won and when you won then, was there phone calls or text messages back and forth?
Yeah, and he also came out to the airport, which I was really impressed with. He's one of my best friends, and it was very nice for him to come out.
Looking ahead then to, of course, we've got Adair Manor, I think, is your next port of call. Of course, it's going to be a real battle of the Irish, Padraig Harrington defending his title there. But now we've got a real plethora of guys going in full of confidence, all Irish. It's going to be quite a week.
It is, and I'm delighted for Adair and delighted for the Irish Open. It really did need a boost, and hopefully this is the injection that it needs. And they'll get a lot of galleries there, and hopefully the tournament will go on stronger and stronger.
Now, you're a relatively level-headed kind of guy, but I mean, people start talking about you in terms of not only a European Tour winner now, but somebody who would have aspirations to play Ryder Cup golf come the autumn. How do you feel about that?
As I always say, one swallow doesn't make a summer. I've won one tournament. We'll just have to keep on, going on and see what happens. You can't start from nowhere. At least I started with a win now. We'll just see what happens. There's a lot of big tournaments left to play in, and hopefully I can play somewhat decent in them.
Peter, of course, you're back here now at Castleknock, lots of friends and family around you. I'm sure it's been hectic, but when did your head get back into golf after all the well-wishing is finished?
Well, it's difficult, with all the phone calls and the emails and the text messages you have to get back through. Possibly at the weekend, I'll possibly come back here to Castleknock and play a few rounds over the weekend. Maybe come out with a few friends. Course looks in great shape, so it should be good practice for there.
Yes, the thoughts there of Peter Lawrie, who I spoke to a little bit earlier today out in Castleknock Golf Club in Dublin. Mark Jones, what a terrific run for Irish golfers. 4 now in 2 months and 3 in a row. It's unprecedented, really, isn't it?
It is unprecedented, Conor. It's on the one hand, you sort of say there might be an element of coincidence about it, that suddenly all these 46As, perhaps buses have arrived in a row. But I don't think there is. I think there might be some karma washing off. Darren Clarke's win is probably a totally individual achievement, as we've discussed. Yeah. However, Damien McGrain and Peter Lawrie are close friends. They have roomed together in years gone by on the tour. And I'm convinced, there's no doubt about it, that when McGrain won, and won so convincingly in China, that Peter Lawrie will have looked at that situation and sort of said to himself, I'm as good as Damien. I've been on the tour longer. I maybe have a slightly better pedigree. I'm as good. If he can do it, I can do it.
And what's kind of struck me about this success in particular, as a little bit different from the others in recent weeks and months, is that he really had to win it. I mean, he shot 67, 4 birdies in the space of half a dozen holes on the back 9. Then he thought he'd already won it. Garrido held a huge putt. He had to go back out then and win the playoff. Huge courage.
Well, I think courage and nerve, Conor. I think when you get to that stage, it's really about sort of nerve. And I actually thought that, just before the playoff started, and he was watching Garrido line up that very difficult downhill 30-footer to get the Spaniard in the playoff, I thought Lawrie then was actually, it looked like he thought he won it, and he admitted afterwards that he thought he won it. And I thought then, that's not the right attitude. I think he should have maybe sort of absented himself from the cameras, actually gone out to the putting green, had a few putts and calmed himself, because it is a bit of a cliche, but it's never won until it's won. And there was an element of destiny about Garrido rolling in that difficult 30-footer. But the thing about it was, probably on the final day, Conor, is that the two Spaniards, Jimenez and Garrido, probably got locked in a battle at the top of the leaderboard and shot sort of level par 1 over and opened the door for somebody to shoot that sort of low 67. Lawrie did it, and as you said, it sank a magnificent putt to keep the playoff alive. And it was a sign of his self-belief, of his maturity, and of his nerve. Because also, when he finally won it, just before Garrido went in the water, the second playoff hole, hit a very fine fairway bunker shot to about 10 or 12 feet. A lot of nerve and a lot of class.
How good is he, Mark? Is it easy to quantify just how good he is? I mean, Rookie of the Year, as we mentioned, played so well on the Challenge Tour the year before that in 2002. It's taken him 5 years to make the breakthrough. It's
possible, Conor, that this win is more about perspiration than inspiration, really, for Peter Lawrie. As we've said before, you go out to the range at any European Tour event and you'll see the guys striking the ball. They're all good. Yeah. They're all fine players. You don't get out there, you don't make sort of 2.5 million in earnings over 6 years if you're a bad player. He is a good player. What makes the difference with these guys when they win is that element of self-belief, that holding your nerve. I'm sure you mentioned the playoff defeats he had, or the playoff defeat he had in the past in 2003 in the Spanish Open. That type of situation must have helped. It has to buoy your self-belief. And I think, there's another cliche. It was his time. He took his opportunity. And, there is enough evidence from his game over the last couple of years that he could kick on and win again. Good. Well,